It's day 10 now of this block, and we're back to day one of training. So we kind of finally completed the cycle. We're gonna go back. It's our main bench day. We're just kind of walking right now, getting warmed up. It's still pretty early. So yeah, I'm just listening to a podcast right now about Joey Beast talking about the two meets that he just did recently. I think this podcast is pretty old, but I haven't seen it yet. So he's going to talk a lot about training, I guess, and how he kind of went from preparing for one meet to having a really quick turnaround, stuff like that. So, which is pretty interesting stuff. Always want to see where other people's heads are at when it comes to programming and stuff like that, regardless of what level they're on, because there's a bunch of stuff we can learn. But yeah, we got main bench today. We're gonna walk for a minute. We're gonna get warmed up, and then that's pretty much it.
So I was in the exact spot I had to have been in, but yeah, it is what it is.
I think I remember them speaking about the spitting thing in the lift because I think someone assumed easier. But I think people think if you're spitting, you're kind of really hard cut. But actually, I think a lot of people see that as a last resort. But actually, no, I'd rather spit than sweat everything off and have to then put that back on, And I think that was maybe something people cut. Even like you generally just cut fiber, right? And like rather than even like majorly like super intense dropping food on, because some people will do like the olive oil and the protein shakes, like liquid carbs and everything. I tried that, and I swear I very nearly just vomited everywhere. Like I would have been away.
I have enjoyable foods. Like the gut cut is the time where I can actually enjoy myself and have like ice cream, have like a couple Oreos. I still had Chipotle one day out. I didn't have like the vegetables on top and the tomatoes and stuff. I took those off, but I ate relatively normal.
It was literally get something properly anyway.
I mean, I do take a lot of steps. I'm not going to 12,000 steps a day, so I know extra calories, but this is still good. I do it for those reasons. Yeah, like, I have no losing weight, and I'm also putting myself a bit pure muscle mass in the weight. I can lose like 2 kilos of fat and gain 5 kilos of muscle right now, and then I'm really massively after. How long does it take to 5 kilos? That should be years, like at least.
I also looked at open powerlifting earlier just to see if the results and everything have been put on it now, and they have. And I also realised you've actually done 5 meets in the last 12 months.
11 months, yeah, 11 months in 1 week, I think,
Yeah. Yeah. And like really healthy within the weight class and within your training with that many back-to-back meets. Do you think progress might have been a bit better if you didn't have to do that many meets in the 12 months, or do you not think it would have made much difference?
Yeah, obviously, I think progress would have been a little more consistent and I guess more spiked up linearly. But it is what it is. Like, those are like necessary meets. I mean, some of them weren't necessary. I mean, I could have not done Sheffield, but like, who does that?
Oh. Well, I don't know if that went better or worse than I thought it was going to, but it went definitely overshot for a triple for sure. Yeah, I felt a little bit too good, but still, I don't know. I don't have to say it. I don't even want to say that. That went really well. I'm just going to keep it for what it is. I have not been able to bench anything heavy in a very long time, so I'll take 260 for 2, even if the first one was pause and the second one was more touch and go, with not quite as good as a pause. I needed some heavy exposure. This stuff is coming back, I feel like, very quickly. I'm feeling very well about it, feeling very good about it. I'm looking at my board right now. The most I've ever doubled is 280. Now, granted, it's just because I didn't hit a very heavy double ever. I tripled, looks like 290. I've hit 275 for 4 reps and 5 reps. Looks like the most reps I've done with 260 is 6. So, but come on. Like, I haven't benched over, last week was 235. I haven't benched over that in 4 months. So I'll take 260s for a double. Doesn't really super mess the plan up too much. All I'm going to do is I just took 10% off, and we're just going to do doubles today. So ain't the end of the world. I'm not in a space where I need to, I have to be doing this, and this, whatever. We're not really like that. So we're just going to switch up a little bit. We're going to do some doubles. And crazy enough, 10% of 260 is 235. So last week, what we were doing for triples, or our triple top set, we're now going to do for doubles on our back set, or our back offs, which is phenomenal. So I'm not going to even say anymore that like that did not go as planned or that I overshot or anything. It went how it went, and that was the plan. If not mine, then God's plan, then that's it. So. I mean, for doing triples last week, and now this is a double on our back off, this is flying. This stuff's coming back so well. I think that whatever we did, this is working. This is all coming together. This is all clicking. I'm feeling great. This is feeling phenomenal. Yeah, I just can't believe it right now. Whew. I mean, these are just moving fantastic. And I think a lot of it just comes down to the simple fact of like, we're putting some time in, we're putting some effort in, we're doing what we need to do. And that's really what's important is, the amount of effort and work that we're putting into this right now. So, yeah, this is moving phenomenally. This is, couldn't ask for a better workout so far. So now, like looking at this, like next week, I'll probably take out like 260 again. Maybe we'll drop a little bit, 255 to hit triples, 250s, whatever, to get our triple back. But other than that, I mean, I'm content with this stuff, man. This is moving great. Honest to God, all things considered, everything considered, this is moving phenomenally. This is moving extremely well for the amount of time that I've been back, how quickly I've came back, all this stuff. So the way that I think this is panning out, I should hopefully be pretty much back with a lot of my lifts. It's beginning of April. I'd say by like mid-May, I should be pretty much back to where I was. And I'm really hoping like end of May, June, July, is just a bunch of like gaining and momentum and moving. So yeah, I'm looking super forward to that. I just talked to my buddy yesterday, who also competes and lifts. So we were talking about a lot of different things. He was very surprised with the level that how quickly I've came back. And not to say that like I'm some supernatural athlete or nothing like that. It's not that I'm coming back quicker. I think maybe both of us just did not anticipate how quickly you could come back from like, an injury that puts you off and out of training for a long period of time. So, then obviously a bunch of life events happened. So, we both were very surprised the level that I was able to come back, how quickly, how easily I was able to come back to all this. I mean, we got 2 more sets of that. That's crazy. Anyways, my buddy was we were talking about it. He was very very happy for me, obviously, but a little surprised on how, I guess, just in general, how good our bodies are to adapting to things, losing it, and then reacclimating pretty quickly. So, which I think made him feel a little better too. If it ever happens to him, he gets injured or things happen or he has to get pulled away from life or whatever. But to be fair, from the way I understand it with his life, he's in the military, he's a firefighter, whatever. There are periods of time where he does get pulled away from lifting and stuff. So mean, yeah, I think that if anybody is second guessing whether or not, like, hey, I've taken too much time off, you know, can I come back from it? Or how long will it take me? I gotta be honest with you, if you come in and just get some work done, it ain't gonna take long at all. Yeah, the first 2 weeks suck, for sure. You know, my first bench sessions were 135 for sets of 6 to 8. And, you know, the lactic acid that would just flood my chest and tris and shoulders, man, was unreal. So, I mean, I was getting massive pumps on 135, beating burnout very quickly from the workouts, you know, very, very, very tired physically, just feeling very beat up the first week or two. I think my first squat session was 225. My first deadlift as well, 225 for sets of, I think squat I did a set of 5, and I had to back down on 185. The SSB bar, I put a plate on, and I about buried me. And I threw 2 plates on, and I barely RP 10 completed 1 rep. So, but I mean, look at us now. I mean, we're hitting 365s on squats. You know, we're repping at 315 on stiff leg deadlifts on our secondary movement day of lower body. You know, we're hitting 2 plates plus on SSB. We're benching 260 for double. You know, all this stuff. It comes back so quick. You got to come in. You got to put some work in. You got to go hard for a little bit of time. And honestly, your body just kind of it just comes right back. Muscle wise, I remember feeling right before I started working out again, I remember telling my wife, dude, I feel small. I don't feel full. My muscles just feel it feels like they're not there. And I felt like I just shrank. And then I started working out, and it just everything just blew back up. Everything went back to where it was, you know, which is it's just the way that it is, you know. Now there's 1,000 different reasons why things that are actually happening, whatever. Did I gain more muscle mass? No, or whatever. But the feeling of you know, everything just being a little puffy or full or whatever, maybe just, if anything, just gives confidence to come in and hit some stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, if things have not gone to plan, life-wise, or even injury-wise, I mean, just get back in. Just get back in. That's it. It's the best advice. Get back in the gym. Get back in, get to work, start moving. There's nothing else to it. There's really not. Give everything a good deal of thought. You know, really sit down, really plan, really think about what you want to do. That's other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all you got to do. It really, honest to God, it really is. But it's moving super, super well. I don't remember the dude's name right now, and I'm drawing a huge blank. And I don't want to be, because I want to talk about the dude. Because I see a lot of his stuff, and I do like his stuff a lot. He's not he's not a bigger lifter per se. He's not, he's not going IPF Worlds. He's not that type of lifter. Nah, and I'm not saying he's not strong, because he's a very strong lifter for sure. What is this dude's name? I'm gonna try and find him, and I'm gonna feel bad because I just watched his video the other day, and I liked it a lot. And I've seen a lot of his other stuff. Yeah, Matthew Rockefeller. Yep, this is him. So, he talked the other day about benching. Now, his whole thing was, he did a video about, basically if you're stuck between the 315 and 405, game, which I don't know if I'm considered that. dude, I mean, I hit 315 once. And then, now we're trying to get back to that. So I don't want to say right now I'm not there. That's not the point. But it was a good gauge because I do feel like when you first start lifting, you've been lifting for a while, you've been lifting forever, it doesn't matter. The game between nothing and like 225 is different. It's a different ball game than 225 to like 315. So because the things that I did to get to 225 compared to 315 are, I don't want to say night and day different, but they're different for sure. They're not the same. Let's do this double real quick. It'll be easy, so. Good Lord. Woo! But the things that I did to get to 225 they're not the same as with the things that I did to get to 315. It's just not. My frequency was different. My volume was different. Obviously, the load was different. But like the scheme of things that I did to get to where I needed to be were different. And honestly, so for me, bench was always like my big go-to lift, man. I mean, I got in the gym. It was by far the most, what do I want to say, insecure lift that I had for sure. So I came into the gym weighing like 145, 150 pounds. Not really big into working out. I worked out my basement in my house, and I had like the plates and stuff, like, I had the bar that was like yay big around with a bench that had like the stands like attached to it. So you could bench kind of with it, but your grip was only like yay big because there was the plates. Like, I was on one of those guys. So I got to the gym, and I remember like my second time being in the gym, I watched a dude, his name was Brandon, and two guys approached me. His name was Brady and Herb, were two guys, and they approached me about spotting him. And I was like, oh, I guess I could spot him, bench, yeah. And they brought me over to this guy named Brandon who's gonna hit 500 for the first time. And I remember being just absolutely beside myself, because I was like, what am I gonna do? Well, they showed me like interlock your fingers, whatever. All you're gonna do is like as he brings it out, just go down with them and come back up with them, whatever. You should be able to hit it. If not, you just gotta pull a little bit of weight. In my head, I've never really worked out like this. I've never been to a gym like this. I think I have to pull this 500 pounds off of him. So that's like my second day there. I don't even think I benched the gym at that point. So that's where my head was at, starting all this stuff. So when I got in to bench, I wanted my bench to be something. Like I didn't know anything. I didn't know what something was. I didn't know what numbers were. I didn't know what good was. I didn't know what 225 was until I started hanging around people and we started talking about it. So I didn't have a goal even in mind. But after getting into it and get my feet wet and getting things figured out, bench quickly became like my go-to lift. It became something that like I knew if I went to the gym and benched, I would make progress, I'd get stronger, and honestly, I didn't have to do too many gimmicky stuff. But yeah, like I didn't have to do some crazy stuff. I didn't have to do, double band, reverse band, chains, reverse grip stuff. I could come in, I could bench, I could go home, I could be done. That was pretty much it. So, bench just became like my lift. So I remember the first time hitting 225, I remember quickly after repping 225, because what I did was 5-3-1 for a very, very long time. So there's a point where I wanted to see where I was at. So I took some heavy weight. I took like what my third week should have been, and I was like, I'll just max it, you know? Now, again, I didn't really know much. I relied on a bunch of guys to help me. Herb, his name was a big guy that helped me a ton with that stuff. And kind of walked me through the process of, like, well, why didn't you wait until you get to this, whatever, then you can hit this, so you're at, blah, blah, blah. So, like, I remember hitting 225 for the first time, upping all my stuff, and, a few months later, I'm, like, repping 225 as, like, my last set. I'm doing it for sets. On 5-3-1, you're hitting that, the top set, trying to go for one, and you're AMRAPing it and hitting it for, like, 3, 4, 5 reps, whatever. And I remember hitting 300 on bench, like, I don't know, a year and a half into the gym, I hit 300. I've been working out now for 6 years. So for 6 years, it took me to go from 3 to 315. Now, granted, a lot of things have happened since then. I've progressed 2 other lifts. There is a point to say, like, you can't really progress every single lift. Also, just build-wise, hypertrophy-wise, my upper body was the biggest thing that lacked. So there was almost a point, so no matter what I did, my upper body was going to grow. So I blew up real quick. So then I had to figure out programming. 5-3-1 ran out, it no longer worked. Regardless of what anybody has ever said in my entire life, 5-3-1 is not something that you can run for all of eternity. There has to be a point where you stop running 5-3-1. So I hit that point, and I was screwed. So I had to figure out other things, whatever. But my main point is the things that I did to get to 225 were not the same as what I did to get to 225 to 315 as a whole. The things that I did, even in the back of my head, to push myself to go from the, in between the heaviest I can hit is 295 to 300 pretty consistently. I mean, I remember doing, was it my second meet? I think it was my second meet. I touched over 300 pounds 7 times. I mean, I hit 302. I hit like 307s a lot. I hit 297. I mean, I was touching like, let's say 295 plus 15 times for singles. Taking out 2 singles of 297, hitting 297 one week, 302 the next week, 307 the next week, back to 297. Like, I hit all this stuff. I hit all these singles. And all of it in minutes. Sorry, it's really raining. But I hit all this stuff, man. And honestly, I thought things should have been different. I thought that I should have went to that meet, hit 315, and then continue to progress. But I had to switch some things up. I had to take some time. So, like, what I did to get to 315 was just different. It was just like a different game. So now I realize right now I got ground to make up. I got things to get back to. I got weight to put in the bar. I got to do what I need to do to get myself back. And I understand fully that some things are going to have to go. As time progresses, things are going to have to change. Things aren't the best they will be. So, but all of that said, I know that the game between 315 and 405 is just a different ball game. And honestly, the way that I'm thinking this is probably going to pan out is the game between 315 and 365 is probably even wildly different than 365 to 405. It just is. So, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit 405 as somebody trying to train all 3 lifts at one time, or something that's just something that's going to have to come later on. When I can focus on just one lift instead. but I'm really hoping it does. You know, if that means my training switches up, whatever, then it is what it is. But again, I've hit 315 once. I'm not trying to put so much of my eggs in the basket of trying to hit 405. For God's sake, I'm trying to squat 405 again. You know, for sets. Honestly, I'm even trying to hit it for a single right now. So, well, yeah, that's like where I'm at. I'm still trying to hit. Oh, sorry. Really sore out there. But I'm trying to get myself back. But, anyways, I'm rambling on too much about nothing. Matthew Rockefeller talked about different things, different cues, different things that got him there. And one of the things he said that that really clicked in my head, that really made sense, was about squeezing the bar. And he was like, squeeze the bar. Yeah, and he even was like, I know, you've heard it. Squeeze the bar, you're squeezing the bar, whatever. Squeeze the bar harder. Squeeze the bar harder, squeeze it harder than that, whatever. And it was really cool. I mean, he did a whole thing, was like, you know, he was like, you can try it now, like make a fist. He goes, squeeze your hand as hard as you can. And then he was like, now I'll do it 10% more. And do it 10% more. And I remember like being like, okay, I'll play along. And I'll do it. I remember squeezing, and then he's like 10% more, and I was able to like squeeze harder. And I was like, there's no way. And he's like, squeeze harder. And then if you really focus, there's always like just something more you can get out of it. And honestly, that kind of clicked in my head. That's what we've been doing today, was just like really focusing just to squeeze the bar as hard as you can. You know, it talks about the amount of tension it's going to build in your arms. You know, you get your body to like understand that, like, you know, this weight's here in my hand, and if I'm squeezing the bar as hard as I can, everything has to get tight, and we were just generating so much force. And I like that. So again, we still, any and everything for any and everybody. At least I do. So I don't care who it is. I just don't. If it makes sense, then we do it, and it works, and it's smart. Like, what does it matter who it came from? You know, none of this stuff is trademarked. We can do whatever we want. All right, well, this caught up pretty quick to me. All right, this really didn't go as planned. But not really what I thought it was going to be. So, which is fine. We're going to keep it to where it's at. We're going to go for another set, maybe try and get another set of 6. Again, the goal was to hit like 8 to 10s on these. First set was 8. Second set, not so much. We got 6. We're going to try to do 6 again. I could lower the weight and really go for the set for the 8 to 10 since I overshot. But where my head's at right now for a lot of my lifts, you know, I don't even want to say especially my bench, but just everything in general. Especially all of my main movements, all of my main lifts, anything that really drives those, helps first, secondary movements, within the workouts, whatever, is mostly heavy exposure, not so much the volume or total load per se, if that makes sense. So instead of focusing right now, like I need to hit the 8s, I need to hit the 10s, I need to keep it here, whatever, I want to get heavy exposure. Because what I've been finding, and because what's been happening to me, is that I'm coming in with a goal when it comes to weight and reps, and I'm going for, so much weight for so many reps. I'm going for 225 for 5. And what's happening is that it has happened over the last 6, 7 weeks, 6, 7, 8 weeks, something like that, is I'm coming in trying to hit a rep and trying to hit a weight, and I end up overshooting from what I'm actually at for that rep count and weight, which means I undershoot for the reps. So instead of hitting 225 for 5, I'm coming in, I'm hitting 225 for 3. Instead of like taking that as a sign that I need to back the weight down to go for the 5, I'm using it as heavy exposure to get myself back to where I need to be. Long term, this will not last. This cannot be a thing fully. No one's gonna come in week after week and week out, week in and week out, be able to hit something for a double and then next week hit it for 5, and then double something and hit it for 5. Like, it's not gonna happen. But for right now, the way that we're coming back, I'm almost getting the heavy exposure when I hit something for 2 or 3, and it's really hard. And allowing my body to go, okay, we're back. We need to get back into lifting. We're lifting heavy stuff again. We're back to this movement pattern. This is heavy. This sucks. It hurts. That's where I need to get myself back to. So for right now, instead of focusing on I need to be hitting this for 8 to 10s, right now where my head's at is I need to be getting heavy exposure with these weights. I never really pushed this bar too much, but I do use it a lot because I like to do these angled grips, and I like to grab them so that way when I have a hold of this, it's more like a reverse grip. Instead of being like a true reverse grip all the way, it just slightly is, in between like a neutral grip and a full reverse grip. So I like it a lot. If anything, it's just the novelty of it. But I've hit, a lot of my sets for this bar was 225. So trying to get back to 2 plates. Really, that's the goal. That's the focus. That's the goal. That's what I want to be doing right now. Then when we get back, we'll focus on some stuff. We'll focus on if there's too much, if it's not enough. Gotta back off here. Do I need to manage my fatigue here, there, wherever, blah, blah, blah. But for right now, heavy exposure. I want heavy exposure. I want heavy things. I want heavy weight in my hands. I want it on my back. I want to feel just heavy weight in my hand, basically, is what it boils down to. All right, we are going to finish this workout out real good. Then we're going to get out of here and head to work. But yeah, I think all things considered, man, this is going well. Workout's going well. We coming back is going well. I don't feel crazy. Bad, I don't feel like my fatigue is unmanageable. I don't feel too beat up. I don't feel too injured. My elbows can hurt from time to time here and there. I got a spot on my back that'll flare up every once in a while. But like, this is just back to normal. I feel like it's normal to just feel slightly beat up. great workout. Gonna do one more set of that, and that's pretty much it for the workout. Again, could I do more? Absolutely. Do I have the time? Absolutely not. So do I need to put the time in to just be the best lifter that I can be with the time that I'm given and all that stuff? Absolutely. I'm not changing my schedule around. I'm not neglecting what I need to in order to reach some goal right now. The goal is, how good of a lifter can I be in an hour to 45-minute workouts? As often as I can work out. That's where we're at. So we're gonna do another set of these. I really like to superset the stuff. I really like to superset my accessories. Don't feel like we need a ton of time to recover from doing some tricep push downs. We don't need to be spinning in a circle for 5 minutes. Granted, I probably take too long to rest just because I'm yapping right now a lot of the time, but it's accessory stuff. I find myself resting too much. It seems wild to me. If anything, let's get some good cardio working. So I superset all of my accessory work. So right now, my weakness in bench is my pecs. So what I can do right now is focus very specifically on my pecs when it comes to like work like this, like dumbbells, training like a bodybuilder. Very, very slow, eccentric, pause at the bottom, focusing on contracting my chest on the way up, using my chest to come up, and then slow back down, keeping tension on the muscle as much as I can. At that point, my pecs are wildly burned out. My triceps are, for the most part, pretty strong. If anything, endurance-wise, they can hold a lot better than my pecs can. I'm able to pound these out, with the dumbbell press, and then my pecs are pretty much burned out. So then it's time to do the tricep throws. Love these exercises. Love the tricep throws. Got these from Westside, obviously. I've done these on incline. I've done these on steep incline, not so much an incline. I've done these on the floor. I've done these with a barbell. I've done these with dumbbells. I've done these with an easy curl bar. I will say I think the easy curl bar and the dumbbells are my favorite, just on the floor. Because with the easy curl bar on the floor, you can kind of like roll it away from you and roll it here in that pocket and throw, and then come back, and you get like a nice like little rhythm out of it, and you get a nice groove. So I've pushed these decently far. I've got these for some pretty good weight. I don't really have a lot of access to dumbbells here, but when I was at the gym, I was able to push these to 70s before. So triceps are decently strong things for me, but whew. All right, well, I think, personally, phenomenal workout, good workout, good amount of work. Went exactly how it went, how it should, and it went however God planned it to go is exactly how it went. I don't want to say it didn't go as planned, because not everything is my plan. So it went how it went. Phenomenally happy with 260 for a double on bench. Extremely happy to be able to move 235 like that for doubles. Swiss bar, again, added 50 pounds, what we did last week. Reps went down for sure. Heavy exposure is our goal. Incline dumbbells, super well. My pecs are fried right now. My triceps hurt real bad. Exactly what I wanted to do. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't say enough good things right now about training. Everything's going super well. I want to keep this momentum going. I want to keep things moving, progressing. I have to keep in my mind though that like at some point this momentum is going to slow down, and I need to grab that right before it does. Right before it really starts to knock itself down is when I need to settle myself back down. That'd be a great time to take a deload week. It'd be a great time to regroup, sit down and go, okay, I'm back, I'm reacclimated. I'm not gonna be able to make these gigantic, my body's not gonna be able to make these big adaptations anymore because of the fact that I've been pushing it so hard to make adaptations to get back to where we were. I cannot ride jumping 15 pounds a week on bench every single week. Not gonna happen. I'm not jumping 50 pounds on squat every single week for the rest of my life. It'd be cool. I mean, I'd take it. But I need to grab it right before this momentum dies, and then that's when I need to sit back down and go, okay, we got ourselves back to where we need to be. What do we need to do to improve on that? What do we need to do to get better? For the most part, I really like my program. I really like what I've done with it. I've done a lot of things that have worked in the past. I've changed a lot of things that have worked in the past. I've tried some things that I've never tried before. And we're kind of going to go from there. We're going to make tweaks as we go and see like where there's holes at. Big example, wasn't benching enough, big hole. What I did was on my back days, added in more bench. So we need to have heavy exposure right now. We need to have volume. We need to have all that stuff. So everything's working super well. Tomorrow is our third lower day. So it's going to be our front squats and what should be our good mornings. I've been complaining a lot about good mornings lately. I do think I'm going to switch them up. Don't quite like the positioning for me and my body. I think I'm either going to switch it to do weighted back raises, like about back extension, or even thought about switching it to just doing an axle bar deadlift. But I don't quite think that I'm there. I think that needs to be something that comes later on when things get heavy, when it comes closer to prep. But right now we're not there. We're just trying to build some muscle, try to get ourselves back. Don't really want to think about a meet too much. My buddy does want me, or is doing a meet that's local to both of us here in August, towards the end of August. Thought about doing it. When I sign up for it, we'll see. We'll start at the counter down for, days out. So, but yeah, other than that, it's pretty much all I got. I feel like I've been yip-yapping too much. So tomorrow, third lower day, come in, get some decent amount of work in everywhere. And that's pretty much it. So, again, sign-offs are sign-offs. Don't really have much. Don't know what I'm doing. But that's it.